My name is Mary Cunningham and I'm the Director of the National Youth Council of Ireland, and I'm absolutely delighted to welcome you to the National Youth Council of Ireland's 2013 annual conference. I have the privilege of chairing today's proceedings and the challenge of ensuring that everything runs according to time. But of course I can't do that without your cooperation. So as we start off this really exciting day, I'm just asking everyone if they would play their part in helping me do that. You'll see from the programme that we have a lot to get through today, and I want everyone to have an enjoyable and hassle-free day, so I'm relying on you. The theme for today's conference, Youth Development Through the Arts, is particularly appropriate, I think, as there is an emerging focus on the whole area of youth development at both the national and at a European level. I think primarily that focus has kind of come from, in some ways, quite a negative place, because it's come as a result of a focus on Ireland and Europe's exceptionally high levels of youth unemployment and the growing concern about the futures of our young people. We know, however, in youth work that the development of young people is not just about preparing them for work. It's about supporting them and preparing them for life. And increasingly, it's now recognised that the skills that are required to enable young people, and indeed all of us, to navigate the world around us include things like teamwork, creativity, innovation, adaptability, flexibility, problem solving, communications and self-management. And good youth work and good youth arts practice enables young people to develop competencies in all of these areas. So we've been really clear in the Youth Council that this is not an arts conference. This is a conference about youth development through the arts. About the why and the how we might embed youth arts as a part of our kind of mainstream youth work programmes. So you'll see from the programme that we've broken the components of the conference into sessions that address both the why and the how. To inspire us about the why, about why we should consider making the arts part of our core youth work offer, we are very honoured to have Professor Dirk van Dam, Head of Innovation and Measuring Progress at the Organisation for Economic Cooperation and Development, or the OECD to their friends, to share the findings from their recent research, Art for Art's Sake, with us. This is a hugely important piece of work, which looks with a very honest and unbiased eye at the claims made for young people's participation in the arts, and examines the evidence that is there to support those claims. It also looks at where young people's participation in the arts sits within the skills and competencies required for 21st century jobs. Our other why contribution is a pre-recorded conversation with Dr. Robert Brooks, author and faculty psychologist with Harvard Medical School, whose area of research is young people and resilience, and he talks about what the arts might uniquely contribute to young people's islands of competence, a term you'll hear more about later on. You may be aware that yesterday was Thanksgiving, so this is Thanksgiving weekend in the US, the biggest family occasion in the US calendar, in a way kind of the US's equivalent of Christmas, and that's why Robert can't be with us in person. So this piece is pre-recorded. And Brendan, if you think you had some challenges in the couple of minutes before this started, can't even begin to tell you about the challenges that we had with this piece. But we're absolutely delighted that, courtesy of Peter and his colleague, we've pulled that one out of the bag, and it's a really excellent contribution. So I hope you enjoy that. Using the new technologies, we took that opportunity to use these new technologies and explore new ways of connecting you with inspirational speakers and thinkers across the world. So it was a very significant learning curve for us. Some of it we could have done without learning. But Dr. Brooks has actually accepted an open invitation to come to work with us in person in the future. And then later on, we're going to look at the how in relation to youth development through the arts. And we have 4 excellent kind of practical workshops We have Dance United, a leading dance charity with an international evidence-based reputation for creating quality contemporary dance training and performance projects with disadvantaged and marginalised individuals and communities. And they're going to lead a workshop exploring arts objectives for youth work outcomes, allowing us to explore how a commitment to artistic excellence doesn't have to come at the expense of youth work outcomes. We have Canal Communities Regional Youth Service, who are going to share their wisdom and learning from their recently completed Artist in Residency project. And through partnerships for arts projects, will allow us to explore the negotiation, the communication, and the collaboration that is essential for a successful partnership between an artist and a youth work organisation. Then we have the Ireland Funds in their unique position as both a funding organisation and as a fundraising organisation. And they will help us to explore the current funding environment for funding and fundraising and share their experience from both sides of that relationship. These workshops will examine key areas which you as practitioners will come across in making youth arts part of your youth work offer. And they will help you to answer the how we might make this work happen. We're also delighted then through our fourth workshop, Young People in Museum, to have a unique opportunity for youth workers to have a conversation with the National Museum of Ireland on how we might explore the potential for collaboration between the youth sector and the National Museum and how young voices can inform the strategy and the programme of the museum. It will be an open space where those working in the youth sector and the National Museum of Ireland examine how best to support one another's work and how to get young people involved in shaping the decade of centuries currently underway. And people will be aware over the last year where you've seen, focus on the 1913 lockout. Obviously, we know the centenary of the 1916 Rising is coming up, and there are other kind of significant historical events. And we really want to thank the museum for recognising the added value that engaging young people in shaping your programme will bring to that programme. We also particularly want to acknowledge and thank the National Museum of Ireland and Collins Barracks particularly most sincerely for hosting us here today in such a special venue. And the number of people who have commented on the venue, we really appreciate that. And one of the things we try to do in the council is to find a venue that's appropriate to the theme of the conference. So I think there couldn't be any more appropriate venue than National Museum Collins Barracks for this conference. And we really appreciate your very kind offer to host it. And we look forward to working with you and to beginning to develop a closer relationship in the time ahead. You will be aware from our earlier publicity of this event that Frances Fitzgerald, the Minister for Children and Youth Affairs, was due to officially open the conference. But earlier this week, she was asked to deputise for the Taoiseach at an event being held in Lithuania as part of their presidency of the EU. So she sends her sincere apologies, but she has asked us to convey a message. So just imagine this, Frances Fitzgerald. What she said is, I'm delighted that the theme of the annual conference of the National Youth Council of Ireland is focusing on youth development through the arts. I believe that youth work has tremendous potential in the development of young people. And I also believe that the arts can be hugely transformative in young people's lives, for its own sake, but also in its contribution to their personal and social development. When both are twinned, as in the case of youth arts work, this can be truly powerful on individual, community and societal, on individual, communal and societal levels. Emerging evidence that describes the skills developed by young people who take part in high-quality youth arts practice is significant to all our efforts across the sector to help young people become resilient, contributing, employable and happy members of society. I commend the work of the National Youth Council of Ireland's Youth Arts Programme, which is a strategic partnership between NYCI, the Department of Children and Youth Affairs and the Arts Council, led so competently by Anne O'Gorman and Sheila O'Sullivan in developing and supporting this work in Ireland, and ensuring this theme is brought into sharper focus as the centrepiece of today's proceedings. I am sorry I cannot be with you today, and I send my sincere apologies that I have unfortunately been called away on government business. I hope you have an informative and inspiring day, and I look forward to hearing the outcomes of the event. So now we hand over to our keynote speaker. Just to give you a little bit of background in relation to the work that the OECD have been doing in this area. Arts education, which in the OECD's definition includes out-of-school contexts, is often said to be a means of developing critical and creative thinking. Arts education has also been argued to enhance performance in non-arts academic subjects such as maths, science, reading and writing, and to strengthen students' academic motivation, self-confidence and ability to communicate and cooperate effectively. Arts education thus seems to have a positive impact on the three subsets of skills that are defined as the skills for innovation. Subject-based skills included in non-art subjects, skills in thinking and creativity, and behavioural and social skills. Arts for Art's Sake, published by the OECD in 2013, examines the state of empirical knowledge about the impact of arts education. The kinds of arts education examined includes arts classes in schools, classes in music, visual arts, theatre and dance, arts integrated classes where the arts are taught as a support for an academic subject, and arts study undertaken outside of school in the arena where most of us work. We in NYCI are particularly encouraged by the OECD's holistic conclusions from the research. And what they say is that the impact of arts education on other non-art skills and on innovation in the labour market shouldn't be the primary justification for arts education in today's curriculum. The arts have been in existence since the earliest humans, are parts of all cultures, and are a major domain of human experience, just like science, technology, mathematics and humanities. The arts are important in their own rights for education. Students who gain mastery in art form may discover their life work or their life passion, but for all children, the arts allow a different way of understanding than the sciences. Because they're an arena without right and wrong answers. They free students to explore and experiment. They are also a place to introspect and find personal meaning. So I'm absolutely delighted that we have Dirk van Dam with us to deliver our keynote address. If I just tell you a little bit about Dirk. Professor van Dam is currently head of the Innovation and Measuring Progress Division in the Directorate for Education at the OECD in Paris. He holds a PhD in Educational Sciences from Ghent University and is also a Professor of Educational Sciences in that same university and has been for the past 13 years. Longer than that, 18 years actually. His current interests are evidence-based innovation in education, comparative analysis of educational systems, and new developments in the learning sciences and knowledge management in education. I'm absolutely delighted to welcome Professor Dirk van Dam.